Well, thank you, and thank you all for coming out, because this is really, as everybody else has already said, a great day and a long time in coming. Art, you know, I have to remind you of my very first State of the State speech. And in that speech, I suggested that we take a look at building a medical school in Idaho. And fortunately, the next election wasn't for the next 3 years, because I don't think I would have made it. There was such a kickback on that. But I will tell you, if anybody had the perseverance to see what needed to happen and is now happening today, today's the beginning. It was Art Bayless and his team. I remember when the folks that were looking around for residencies, they were looking around for placements after folks had finished their classroom exercises 3 years, and they came to Idaho. And they were looking at South Dakota, and they were looking at Montana. And when he came to Idaho and we had a chance to sit down and meet, they were asking how many positions did we think would be open, and that's what they were looking for not only Idaho, but also Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota. And after he explained what they were going to do, and they were going to build this college at that time in Montana, I said, well, why wouldn't you do that in Idaho? And the response was, well, you know, we've already been working on it something like 8 months or something like that. And I said, well, we could do that. And he said, how long would it take you? And I said, we can do it in 30 days. And you know, you could just see the doubt on their face, but they didn't know Idaho. And they didn't know that Idaho had the great need that we had for this, because as was said earlier, we are 49th in the nation. I think in the per capita of doctors for our population, I think we got something like 191 per 1,000 or something like that. But anyway, we're way down the list, and because we're a rural state, you know, 44 counties spread out across this great country with 202 cities, there's a lot of rural in Idaho. And the major metropolitan areas are, I would say, served and served well, especially by hospitals like St. Al's, St. Luke's, and the others. But I just figured we needed more. And Art was right. We did need more. And today we're here to eat a cookie, I guess, and celebrate that. But I want you to just think about your own families. Those of you who have kids that someday may want to go to medical school, those of you who have grandkids or great-grandkids, you know, they won't need to get too far out of this area code. Well, we're changing. We're now going to have 2 area codes. But they won't need to get too far from home in order to realize your dream for them and their dream for themselves and what they're going to engage in the rest of their life, and that is helping people, because we need it desperately. So thank you all for all your help and your perseverance, and not only that, but thank you for your faith. I especially want to thank the legislators that are here, and by the way, the late Chuck Winger just showed up. You use your words, I'll use mine. But I also have to just mention one personal conflict on this. I was raised in a family of 9 kids. I was the only one out of those 9 that got to go to school, got to go on to college. And I vowed that that would not happen in my family. So I have 4 children. And in those 4 children, I have 7 degrees. I have 4 bachelors, 2 masters, and a doctorate. And that doctor graduated from Boise State with her bachelor's. Then she went to Southern Illinois to get her master's, and then she went to Utah State to get her doctorate. And now she's back home. But we missed her those years. And I say to all these families who are going to have a doctor in their lineage, you won't miss your children. Thank you for ICOM.